A word to the wise. We are an explicit podcast tackling content with adult themes, as well as entering spoiler territory if you aren't caught up with us, which is through the end of Jade City by Fonda Lee.
Hey there, this is Cross.
And I'm Erin.
And we are Words and Whiskey, a podcast for veteran and novice readers alike. We tackle fiction novels and love to talk about what we're drinking. You should think of us as your intoxicating weekly book club. In case you didn't know, we're actually recording this episode asynchronously. So Erin and I are recording right now, and Ben and PJ and Thomas have already recorded. So we're just having a fun time on our own.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
It's better without them.
Yeah, it's true. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm sure they just shit talked the absolute god out of us. I
Who
can't
knows?
imagine. Yeah,
Ben would never.
I won't know until I edit it.
He knows I listen, so. And I know he doesn't listen. He hates hearing the sound of his own voice, and I love it.
Perfect. So as mentioned, today is the wrap-up episode. We're going to give some overall thoughts on book one of the Greenbone Saga by Fonda Lee.
So the three of us are going to be talking about the same questions led by Thomas. Thomas is going to lead Ben and I through these questions. And Crossland, at a later date, will be leading the same questions for Erin. And then through the magic of audio editing, it will become a single episode.
Magic.
But I don't know if he's going to have the pretense of making it sound like a single episode with all of us included. That's an undertaking and a half. I don't recommend that. Don't do that, Crossland.
Survey says no.
Or, but if we are okay with it being separate, it will be separate, but they'll be spliced together, so the questions are all in the same space. It'll be fine. You'll hardly notice. All right, should we talk about what we're drinking?
I think we should. What are you drinking, PJ?
I have some whiskey. It is Magnificent Beast. It is the Jackalope release from Crowded Barrel of Whiskey Tribe fame.
I feel like that
I think I had it last time.
A free ad I will tentatively allow because I haven't heard of that brand. And so it seems like a smallish endeavor.
Fair enough.
I am also drinking whiskey. This is Hill Rock Bourbon. Solera is the brand, the variety, I guess. I don't know. It is delicious. That's all I know.
Nice.
I am back on my KC Beer Co. Hefeweizen. It's a Bavarian style wheat ale. It's lovely.
Very nice.
Beautiful. So I guess now we can get into the chat, the questions.
Let's do
get
it.
into the meat and potatoes of the thing.
Can I ask you two questions unrelated to this really quick? Right now,
Absolutely.
Does it kind of feel like substitute teacher vibes?
Slightly. Like
maybe, but who's the substitute teacher?
Me. I feel like I'm sort of like, I'm like the assistant coach, and we're doing like, the head coach has a doctor's appointment today. We're playing dodgeball for practice.
Mr. Crossland always lets us chew bubble gum in class.
I don't think that's true. I will send you to the principal's office.
Are you also the principal?
No, I'm not the principal. That's ridiculous. That's crazy.
it does feel like Dad's not here with Crossland not being on the podcast.
Yeah, a little bit.
We're a little loosey-goosey. The second question is, do we need a name for this triumvirate? It's kind of an unprecedented trio. We don't need to do it now.
I feel like this is the conspiracy corner.
It is actually.
To a certain respect.
That is true.
The conspiracy triangle.
I like that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, that's all the business I had. I think we can leave.
It's going to be a quick one, all told. But before we go too far in here, let's talk about the featured cocktail. Erin, this is your speciality. So
It is. Ever since the video, is it still a meme when it's a video?
yeah, it's still
It's not really a GIF. I call them all memes. The ladies of House of Dragon, you may know it, talk about their favorite drink. And I'm easily talked into anything. So the minute I heard that, I decided that I also loved Negronis. So Cross and I both have Negronis today. It's equal parts gin, Campari, and vermouth. That's how I made mine.
Yeah,
No,
generally sweet vermouth.
no Prosecco for me.
Yeah.
I'm not really a lady of the House of Dragon.
I forget which one of them liked it with Prosecco. I forget names, which I think Emma D'Arcy, if that sounds correct.
I don't know their real name, but yeah. Rainey's.
Yeah,
Rainier. Shit.
Quickly is devolving.
No, Rainey's is like the bitchy queen mom. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Auntie.
Yeah, exactly. And then you've got grumpy old green gills, Alicent. That's her name.
Yeah.
It took me a second. Yeah.
Which aptly sounds like Maleficent to me.
Mm-hmm. True. Yeah.
But I like that they are friends in real life. And then I keep my vermouth in the fridge because you're supposed to. Did you know that?
Yes. Yeah. That is a thing that a lot of people don't know. And it is basically a bottle of wine that's just a little bit, it's fortified a little bit better. So you also, if at home, if you have old vermouth, throw it away and get new vermouth.
Yes.
That's why it's not super expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know it. The more you know.
Yeah, I didn't either. I had no idea about what vermouth was. And even just the difference between sweet and dry. My brother and I, just to go on the little tangent, I actually bought vermouth yesterday for this because I knew that we were going to be doing this. And my brother accidentally broke the bottle, setting the bag down. Yeah,
what was he hulking out like groceries?
Yeah, exactly.
Threw it down.
We fully like loaded in. It should have been 2 trips worth of like stuff, but we managed to get it all in one between the two of us to bring it up for his housewarming thing. And he stacked the bottles on top of a box of liquor with a bunch of other bottles in it and just stacked the bag on top. And when he put it down, it just rolled out of the bag and directly onto the ground and broke, shattered on the concrete.
So you were the fuck up last week with the truck, but now he's the fuck up.
Yes. Yeah, we traded. But so I use dry as opposed to sweet. Generally, you'd use sweet, but it's still solid.
I have no idea. I think mine was sweet. I don't like super sweet drinks. I like Negronis for their herbiness, a little bitter. I like the first drink to like kind of make me make a face.
Yeah, exactly. Just like, ooh, give me something interesting. Yeah, I'm with that.
Yep.
Cool.
Drink up, kids.
All right. Drink up, kids. Make a Negroni. It's really easy. Even parts. Can't go wrong.
I don't think I would have liked a Negroni a few years ago. I think I'm maturing. Like the ladies of the house.
Maturing.
I have a kingdom.
Could be the memes. I have a kingdom. It's called Howlerpod.
Yes.
My domain. God, I was watching a how to drink video, and he just makes excellent cocktails. And he was talking about how, as adults, we tend to go for like things like a Negroni later because we kill our taste buds over
and
time.
Our souls.
And so you're just looking for something kind of new and different.
Yeah.
And so your taste buds kind of like that and latch onto it. So like complex cocktail love generally comes a lot later.
Yeah.
You know, in the lifespan.
Yeah.
of drinking.
I mean, I used to hate. Shit. Sorry. I threw it out the room.
Nice.
Yeah. So I used to hate IPAs. And like only drink light beer. But now light beer like doesn't taste like anything.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, if I drink
100%.
all heavy beer, then, you know, it's too many calories. I don't know.
Yes,
I still do it.
It is a lot of calories. That is one of the big differences between an IPA and a light beer. Like, 100 calories or like 300 calories.
Right.
Cool. Sounds great.
But which will you enjoy more? The problem is when you're binge drinking IPAs.
Right.
I would never.
Yeah. Would never. Couldn't be caught dead.
Not me. I didn't do that on St. Patty's Day.
Nope.
They weren't green.
Not at all.
I do have very strict instructions to ask you guys a series of questions. I had some input into formulating them. This one,
Looking forward to it.
might be a little out of left field. I don't know. How do we feel about this book on the whole?
You know what? I hated it. I hated every minute of it and couldn't find a single piece of information that resonated with me, and am glad that we're not reading the next 2 books in the series.
What would you do if
Podcast
that
over.
actually happened?
You know, I'm not worried about that happening.
Okay.
Because like, and that sounds dumb, but generally I tend to find something that I like about almost everything that I consume. Sometimes I'll narrow-mindedly focus on the little nitpicky things that I don't like about something, and that feels frustrating even to myself, especially when I like get a little bit too drunk and start only talking about that on the episode. But in general, I tend to really like almost everything that I consume, and I think also the fact of the matter is this whole podcast was built from the relationship of Crossland and I, and him having books that he thinks that I'll like. And he kind of knows me pretty well. So I think for the most part, I'm not too worried about finding something that I don't like. To answer the question straight, I really, really enjoyed this book. I am totally invested in this family, this story, all of the characters, family or not, and I'm really excited to see Barrow be the protagonist of the next book.
Okay. Ben.
I also really enjoyed it. I thought it had a great setting, really great characters. I think that it's got a great magic system. The Jade is super interesting. I almost wish we would have got more of that in the first book. But overall, yeah, like really, really enjoyed it. Excited to see where it goes. I feel like there's a lot of meat left on the bone. So that is exciting. To me, I think this format was a little different. Like going through the book a portion at a time and then talking about it was a different approach for me. So that was interesting as well. I had a lot of fun with that. And then I think things that kind of, I guess if I was going to have any quibbles with it, like I had difficulty at first, like latching on to any characters just because I thought we were just jumping around all over the place a little bit. So it was a little scattershot, but I think some of that is also just like reading it in chunks and then talking about it, having to talk about it. So like if you're just reading the book at once, I think it'd probably have more of a focus than maybe it felt like. So that would probably be my only issue with it so far, but otherwise I thought it was really exciting. The political aspect to it was really cool. I'm definitely invested in the characters, especially by the end of the book. They got me really hooked. The action sequences that occurred, like I said, were really cool. I would have loved to see more of them, so I hope that we get some more of that in the next few books.
I will say that I do think some of the issues you were touching on, like not knowing the focus, not relating to the characters right away, I do think it was a product of the way that we do this show, because I read these books incredibly fast. The last book I read in a day, so I feel for you guys already.
Yeah, it was always frustrating to like stop at certain points when you wanted to know more, and then you're trying to talk about it at the same time, so it's like that adds to it as well. So yeah, I can definitely see that.
I will say something that you brought up, Ben, resonated with me in that, like, the way that we do this show, like, obviously there are beats in the book, and it makes for either difficulty or ease of like deciding where to break up the chapters. But the way that we've been pitching the show for a long time has been sort of like a book club. And this book is the first time it really felt like that for me, because there's all these new faces at the table with us. So I appreciate having both of you on, as well as Aaron. And I mean, I can take or leave Cross, but having more people here has been a lot of fun. It's definitely changed the dynamic of the conversations, I think, for the better, or at least for the not worse. Like it's just different.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about just the way that the rest of this series will go. Getting more invested into this book series as a group is going to be a lot of fun, I think.
Agreed.
Yeah. I think, and I will speak for at least the Discord as well, I know that for me and them, having Erin as an addition was also very crucial, because just getting her opinion as, a woman reading this, and we're all dudes, so she just inherently has different takes, different reads on things, and that really helped me to contextualize differently a lot of the relationships between characters. And so shout out Erin. Who knows if she'll hear this.
Think she'll listen?
Definitely not.
Okay.
All right. Let's get into talking about this book here.
Oh, is that why we're here?
Yeah, I think maybe. I don't know. Yeah, we're having a good time. Unlike those boys, whatever they're doing.
Ew.
Would you when we texted to plan this, would you call it the bitches hour or something like that? I can't
probably.
remember what you
I like
said.
to say mean things because I think it's funny.
Yeah. Negroni sisters.
You and me.
Negroni sister type. Yeah.
I
That's
thought you were
great.
talking about those bitch boys.
Oh, no, us.
No, we're Negroni sisters.
Yes. But how'd you feel about the book on the whole? Obviously, I was very excited for you in particular to read this book because I think it really aligns with your tastes. And
For
I
sure.
did, when we came up with this idea to do this, I was like, I just recommended it to you. And then I was like, wait a minute.
Like,
And
don't read it.
it was me recommending it that I was like, actually, we should see if they'll do the show. And I had to run it by PJ first, but
Yeah. He's agreeable.
yeah, it's true.
I really did love it. I think this is definitely a slam on you and Thomas. I think the format of this show like mutes the excitement for the book because it is so like it's so stuttering. Like I'm like, oh, pumped up, and then I'm like, oh fuck, I have to wait, and then get back into it, pumped up, and then you have to wait. So it's kind of like blue balls for a book. So I think if I had just like read it straight through, it probably would have been one that I like ate up in like a week as opposed to spread out. But nevertheless, I still loved it. It does align with like all the stuff I like, but it's not so similar to any exact book that it's not still exciting. And, I love any author that's willing to kill off main characters so you have no comfort in plot armor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think Fonda Lee did a great job. World building. I love the dynamic of the magic system within a more modern society, but not like in the future. So yes.
Yeah. I'm so glad that you loved it. And yeah, it definitely, so this book in particular was much trickier to break down than the rest of them because I wanted to give, originally when I'd broken it up, it was only going to be 5 episodes. I think I've told this story a dozen times, and then we ended up having a little bit more time. And so we spent a lot more time with Lon week over week, and I kind of broke that. And I do think, to your point, it was not the usual momentum that I would put into like breaking up a book because I like a lot more momentum and build. But at the same time, I was like, well, I got to kind of make like the Lon thing feel like a big deal.
That didn't feel great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Felt pretty shitty.
Felt pretty bad when he fell into the river.
And it felt, and I think even if it wasn't broken up, it felt like he went out with a whimper and not a bang, So it's like, oh,
Lon. Oh no. Yeah, I'm very excited for the next couple of books though, because while format of the show of course doesn't necessarily change, I think that they're paced better. I think the whole section, not only that, but this book spends a lot of time meticulously building the world Jade City does, and now Jade War doesn't have to do that lifting. So the book is just it's just gonna go. So I'm excited.
I can't even imagine where we're gonna go.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I still want Mata to have more screen time.
Yeah.
Because she's scary, but like I like it.
Yeah, it's that kind of scary. Like, yes, step on me. I don't know if I want that.
I don't know. Yum.
Yeah.
I mean, you're horrible. Yes.
You're horrible. You're horrible. I love you.
Yes. I've always been a fan of the villains, the villainess. But yeah, I'm excited for what's to come. It is tough right now not reading ahead.
Right.
I've kind of thrown myself into The Last of Us. I jump on trains late, so that's
perfect.
That's filling my emotions. Don't watch it on the plane. You will cry.
Yeah, you will cry. You will scream. It's going to be a fun
your
bad
neighbor
time.
will be concerned.
They'll be upset. So our next question that we have here is, would you choose to be a greenbone and wear jade?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah,
and
no question.
I would be like so stylish. Like I would have them all embedded. I'd be like decked out.
You'd 100% in bed, like
yeah.
Hilo.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, by the time I was 18, I had like 8 holes in my ears, Put them in there.
Just stick them in.
Yeah, get them all in. And I like the collarbone idea, but I really like the bracelets that Aitmata has, the swirling up the arm thing. That's sexy.
Yeah, that idea of it's spinning up.
Yeah, yeah. How about you?
I think I would.
Okay.
Well, it feels like it's an interesting question to answer because I have more context and more of a picture. Not saying that that means, that my answer isn't valid. I think I would. I think that I would, as much as I love and adore Hilo and whatnot, I feel like I'm in Andon's camp where I'd want a small amount of jade, 6 stones, 8 stones, something small. Yeah, I don't think I would want to be decked out. Also because that just makes you a target, and I kind of like a little bit of obscurity myself. Sure. But yeah, I love the this idea of sort of the wealth and the fashion of it all, though. So I think maybe I might buy some fake green stones and wear it cool, but have less.
You'd be a poser.
Yes, absolutely.
Did you have fake gauges? Were you one of those people?
No, but that would be a great idea.
No, they're a thing. It's the thing that goes through your ear is normal size, but then it's a black round piece, and you squish it down so it looks like
weird.
Looks like a gauge, yeah.
Interesting.
But
my uncle had
real
serious gauges. Yeah.
Yeah. Does he still have them, or did he have to get them?
No, he got surgery to reconnect his ears. Yeah.
De-stretch them. Well, if you're getting gauges, you're probably punk rock, and don't answer to the man or whatever.
Yeah, that's not. I mean,
don't get a neck tattoo, okay?
Yeah, as long as you don't get a neck tattoo. Great call. Or face tattoo.
When I have a big tattoo on my back, when I was getting it, a really young guy came in and was getting a face tattoo, and from what I could tell, he didn't have any other tattoos, and it was so bizarre. He got it on his forehead, and I think it was a religious thing. I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
Oh,
and I was like, can you not be no, I won't give you a face tattoo? As the artist. Sweet baby. Gotta wear makeup.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do
Kat Von D cover up makeup.
Yeah. Oh boy.
This episode of us will be much more meandering than of the other boys.
I'm sure they were just on it the whole time.
No one can beat my level of random thoughts.
Yeah.
They keep me company.
I mean, but I think that they keep me company as well. I try to write them down, and sometimes they turn into stories, but I don't know. I love the idea too, just kind of talking about the fashion a little bit, since we kind of wandered down that with the tattoos, the way that it is wrapped into everything else. And these people do have tattoos in addition to this. And it's just so cool and evocative, considering it kind of is an urban fantasy. I don't know. I like that aspect. I didn't expect
I wonder if you're all jaded out, studded up, embedded jade. And if you go to Espenia or another country, if they think you're a thug or something, they cross to the other side of the street when they see, the jade on you. I wonder what, they might see it as barbaric or something.
Yeah.
But it's cool.
Maybe. That's interesting to place that prejudice on it a little bit. Prejudice might not be the perfect term for it, but you know what I mean.
Have negative connotations.
Mm-hmm. Right. Just kind of, fearful. I don't know. If I saw a football player walking by, I would probably give a wide berth as well, because I would be afraid of just getting knocked over on accident. He wouldn't even see me.
Does that happen to you?
I don't know, but
they don't just walk around knocking people over.
They just, I don't know, they're really big. I feel like they might. Yeah, I think that's how it works, right? Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
They're just like the Kool-Aid man, just busting through walls.
Yeah, exactly. Unaware of who's there on the other side, getting hit by the bricks. Yeah.
Yep.
Can't help it. Can't be stopped.
We've seen a few displays of the magnificent power of Jade. We've also seen a lot of the very real, very harrowing downsides. So with that in mind, I think I asked you guys this the first episode we did, or the first real episode at least. Would you want to be a Dreamboat, and would you want to wear Jade?
I think I would wear Jade. I think it's too fucking cool not to. I don't think I'd be a Greenbone. I don't think I'd dedicate my life to a clan, but I would love to be. What was the term? The luck bringer. Okay. I'd like to be trained, but not be a warrior.
Okay. That was actually, I was going to add that as the follow-up, like the sub-question to this question, is which side of the clan you would want to be on.
Yeah.
So the Luckbringers are dedicated to the clan, but they're just not on the greener side, as our Greenbone friends would say.
Yeah, I guess that's what I meant, as like not a... I'm not pledging my blood so much. I'm not putting myself on the front lines.
Okay.
But I totally wear Jade. I think it'd be so cool to experience.
How would you wear it?
I don't remember what I answered last time. Straight up, don't know if I answered yes or no.
I think you all said yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we all said yes.
PJ, how would you wear your Jade?
Oh, yeah, that was the answer. I said it Prince Elpert, didn't I?
You did. You did, unfortunately.
Now I remember that, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Is that still the answer?
No, not genuinely. I don't think I'd go piercing. I think I'd go like a ring, like a series of rings, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Or just one ring with like inset, like inversely inset jade.
Mm.
So it's contacting the skin.
Okay. Interesting.
I would agree that I would definitely want to wear Jade. I would also agree that I'm not, up for that gang life at all. But maybe I could just be like a guy that hangs out and supports everybody else in their gang activities. Just kind of like a vibes guy.
You got the orange slices ready. You're like, hey, you're like the ultimate villain. You're just kind of chilling back.
Yes.
You're like, hey man, great job murdering. Here's an extra Jade stuff for you.
I would definitely help them like pick up their stuff. I would politely take it off the dead bodies, though. I wouldn't like cut their fingers off and stuff.
They were in a rush that time.
But yeah, I do want to feel the power, and if I need to defend myself, I want to have the Jade abilities. Also, like the idea of like perception sounds really cool, and particularly lightness. Like I would like to be able to jump really high. Those abilities appeal to me. So maybe I could just be kind of like a quick in and out type guy. I'm helping with perception, good vibes, but not necessarily like I'm not made for it. I know that for sure.
Okay. Should I answer as well?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Say my blood for the pillar. Hell yeah, I'm wearing Jade. I'm on the horn side. I'm the horn, honestly.
All right.
Let's be real about it.
You're the
Let's
horn
go.
of this podcast right now.
Oh yeah, that would be me though. I'd be all about it. Dane life. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. So you'd go like Greenbone all the way, like military side of it?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I mean, like,
if you didn't get to choose
Mhm.
and you were placed somewhere, like after graduation, you chose to be on that side, but you didn't get to choose like finger or fist or anything like that, would you still do it?
yeah, because you have to start as a fist. Everyone knows that. And then I'm quite the worker. I'll work my way up.
All right, perfect.
He's willing to put in the work.
Yeah, I don't want no handouts. Come on.
Mhm.
Not a Nepo baby.
Fair enough.
Ben, how would you wear your Jade?
I liked Hilo's body stud situation.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking something like that.
Okay. I think I would also do a ring for like at least one of them. And this might be dicey to say, but I would do the Frank Underwood, like knock on the table thing with the rain all the time. Definitely do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't like bracelets, watches, anything like that. So I don't know what I would do with the rest of it. Probably like chains, I guess, but I would definitely have at least one ring.
Oh God, a watch would be so cool.
I'm not a big ring guy, so yeah, like maybe something on the wrist I could do for sure.
Yeah, imagine just like a super classy watch with like one of the links or like a couple of the links.
Oh, that would be the move.
Or
That would
Jade.
look so fresh.
Definitely.
That would be so dope.
Jade watch for sure.
Yeah.
Given the Greenbone question, of course, and choosing to be a Greenbone, which side of the clan would you be on?
Mountain.
Do you think? No, I'm not saying which clan I should say, but which side of the clan. So like,
What
are
do
you
you
going
mean?
like fist, like street patrol? Are you
Ooh.
in Weatherman territory? Are you maybe like even considering White Rat?
No, then I'd have to not have Jade.
Right, you'd have to basically give up most of the Jade. Yeah, right.
To be a right rat, don't you have to be a Stone Eye? Or
you don't have to be a stone eye. Yeah. No, that's just her particular use.
Oh,
yeah.
I would. I'd want to be like a Horn or a Street Fighter, but I'd be most useful like in the office, probably.
I think you're fierce. I think we could put you on the street.
It's funny. I think I am too until something actually happens. And fight or flight. Mine's freeze. That's what I do. I'm a freezer. I'm like a can't breathe.
That's totally fair.
So yeah, I'd be like a possum in the streets. So therefore I'd be more useful. But since this is all make believe, I would want to be a finger and be in charge of little fists and only have to bring out on my jade on certain occasions.
All right. Fist of the clan. I love that. I feel like I would naturally gravitate towards a role in the weatherman side of the clan. I would definitely be doing something
you
there.
You do remember a lot of stuff. That would be my issue with being weatherman. I'd be like, what was? I
feel like I'd go green bone lawyer. I think that'd be the move, or something like that.
Yeah, maybe a politician.
Yeah. No, I don't think I would go that route of like, what's his name? Not Hami. Hami's the lawyer. Hami Tumashan's the lawyer, yeah, and not Woon Papidanwa. I'm thinking Son Tomorrow.
Yeah. Son Tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't think I would be like a Son Tomorrow
of Woon Papidanwa.
Interesting.
I am. I don't have any insider information. I just have a feeling. I don't like when an author makes a point to say that someone is flawless, because no one's flawless. So if she's making such a point that he's so steadfast, it means he's going to prove us wrong.
Okay. All right.
I wonder if now that you're alone, maybe I can get more info out of you.
Now that everyone else isn't here, let's try to pick Crossland's.
Just tell me. No one will know.
No, I'm not going to do that because other people listen to the show.
No one will know. How
no one will know. I know that they ran their own little conspiracy corner to round it out. So we'll pick your brain at the end of this.
Okay, that's my biggest one.
But we'll come back to Woon
as we touched on it through this book, through this season, through this event, whatever we're calling it. Janloon is a unique setting for us, and in terms of our experience as readers. And so I'm wondering, Cross is also wondering, but I'm here right now. What do we make of Janloon as a location? Do we like the setting? Is it enticing to us? Do you want to know more about it?
I would say definitely. This is one of my favorite book settings in a while. I feel like it's just, like very intriguing, creative. There's a lot there. There's like this whole history that it feels like it has that you could learn about that's not there in the books, but it's all there in the subtext. And yeah, that's probably my single favorite aspect of this book so far is the setting.
Yeah. I'm going to totally agree. And I'm going to agree by like saying something that feels like a disagreement. And it's that I just want more of it. Like, and like that's such a good feeling. But like you mentioned, Ben, it's so, the setting is dripping in context and like subtext. But there's not a lot of very like overt explanation of the world like you've come to expect from fantasy realms and fantasy stories in general. You expect sort of a sprawling, over wordy explanation of the setting and of the realm and of each individual city and the map and everything at all. And I love that. Truly, I do. But it's totally okay that it's not here. And it's so well done of every little bit of story gives us a little bit more of the setting and a little bit more of the city and this island in general and the world at large. Yeah, I am clamoring for more.
I think it's because we get all of the revelations about the location and about the city and its history and the country and its history and the world and its history naturally that makes it feel more real and makes you want to know more and makes you feel like you're there.
Especially considering our protagonist family is so just weaved into the history, or at least the modern history of this city, that it's hard to explain what's happening with this family without also explaining what's happening with the city.
Yeah, that is one aspect that Fonda definitely crafted just masterfully throughout the book. And you can tell she just did a really good job with that.
Yeah, she was fucking cooking this whole book. It's so good.
But following this up, obviously, we've touched on a few times throughout this season how Janloon is a different sort of setting than the ones that we're used to in our typical fantasy worlds and science fiction worlds. What do you think about the city? What do you think about K-Con as a country on the whole? What about the environment excites you, you know?
It seems like a nice place. I mean, if you're in the nice part of town, I guess. And not in the armpit. I like a tropical island weather climate. I like humidity because I have very dry skin. So I'm okay with the hot humidity. So I think I would thrive there. You know? I really like the relationship with the Lantern Men, and we get a good feel for the whole city just by being at the Twice Lucky and like being in the restaurant. Yeah. I like it. And I think it's set up really well. I think Fonda sets us up really well to see the difference of the island versus the bigger countries. So yeah, it seems like it would make for a good show or movie. Like very cinematic.
It is. It's picturesque. Like you can totally visualize a lot of the different things, like the pull carts being dragged through next to cars, and just sort of that visualization. I think of the streets of Janloon is very cool. Can't wait for it to eventually be adapted. You know, originally when we announced this, it was still being slated, I think, for Paramount Plus or something like that. And they
is it really? I didn't know that.
It was, but they since axed the production. They couldn't get it out of some early stages. But I believe it's been reoptioned somewhere along the lines. But
how often does this happen? Because like we're going through the same thing with Red Rising. How often are books like almost being turned into shows over and over again? You know,
a lot. So the process of how much do you know about the process of optioning? Just so that
zero.
Mansplain. Okay, cool. So optioning is basically what happens is like an author of a work is approached to sell their stuff so that it can be made into a show. The studio or producer then buys the rights or the option to turn it into something, and there's generally a time frame on that option. So they have like 3 years to make it into a thing. At the end of the option, the rights revert to the original owner, unless there are some other conditional contractual phrases and stuff like that. So they pay a big chunk up front just for the ability to even consider making it, and then they, eventually often the rights revert on these kind of things. So Fonda got paid basically to probably sit in some meetings and try to make it happen while they were looking into it, but still got paid for it. So yeah.
Okay. And it's always a risk. Like, is it better or worse to have your book become, like a bad TV show? Like The Magicians was, I mean, I didn't love the book. I liked it, but then the show was unwatchable. It was very different, very CW. And it didn't. I didn't feel like it went with the tone of the book. The book was very dark, and I don't know. That's just one example of like, would it have been better to not ever be a show?
I mean, Witcher is a great example too, right? Like Witcher is a fun TV show, but it is not not immediately reminiscent.
Nice TV show.
Yeah.
I'm so sad.
But I think that to that point, any publicity is good publicity, and it's not like the author doesn't get paid in the end anyway.
Right. I'm sure more people who might not have read it, like The Magicians, for example, will then read it because of the show. So, right. I don't know. A good example recently that I can think of, I don't know if you ever read them, but the Knife of Never Letting Go books. It's a trilogy. It's a wonderful trilogy of books. Was adapted into a movie called Chaos Walk, which has Tom Holland and whoever played Rey. I can't remember her name in Star Wars. But it had those two as the leads, and Mads Mikkelsen as the villain. And it was a terrible adaptation, but the book sales went way up during the period in which it was released. And it wasn't a financially successful movie either. So just natural boost on the book sales for a decade-old series. So, yeah. Makes sense. But, as book lovers, I'm sure
I want it to be
everyone,
good. You know, I wanted it to be good.
There's so many times I see a movie, even just of a novel, and you're just like, you know, you want so bad for the movie to portray how good the book is, you know, and it's so hard. It's such a hard job. Obviously, you have less time and, you know, so much harder to do any internal monologues and
Yeah.
So
number one concern for Red Rising there is that,
oh my
and
gosh,
I think that by comparison, Fonda Lee's writing style actually lends itself a little bit more naturally to something cinematic because it's a lot less in the head. So, yeah.
But like, and this might be controversial, but I absolutely love Stephenie Meyer, author of Twilight, wrote The Host.
I loved The Host.
I loved the book and I love the movie. Like,
I never watched the movie. I should do that.
I absolutely, and I'll like rewatch the movie still. And they did a great job of, because a lot of it is internal and it's like internal dialogue between two people, you know. Spoilers. And they did a really great job. Yeah. So there are ways to do it. I'm glad you love The Host.
Yeah,
I really do.
The Host.
I love the idea of it. I love, you know, any alien invasion of any type. So
it was
story.
A unique spin on a great concept. You know?
I
was super down for it.
Okay, we can still be friends.
Yeah.
Most people like balk because they're like Twilight. I'm like, I also liked Twilight when I read it back when it came out.
Yeah, right.
Sue me.
And my sister loved Twilight, but my dad read The Host and he was like, "This is really good. You got to read this." And so I was totally in on it.
Hey, your dad and me can be friends.
This brings us into, I think, our trickier questions here. Looking back on Jade City as a whole, what, if any, favorite moment do you have?
My favorite moment was definitely No Peak coming down from the mountain and fucking up the casinos, and just Shay being pissed and putting her Jade back on. That whole moment was just like so triumphant, especially after losing Lon, like, is what we needed. And it just felt like perfect. And I love that they like kind of pulled a fast one on Gaunt in the mountain at that moment. So that was definitely my favorite moment.
Yeah, I think that's my answer too, but I will try to find another one for the sake of highlighting other great points. The confronting of Call Sen after Doru's released.
Okay.
Just seeing him in that state of obstinance and frustration, and he's this powerful man. He's the torch of K-Con. He is so incredibly important to this family, to this city, to this country, to this world. And he, like, it kind of feels like a moment of lucidity for him, but not in a great way, you know? Like, it really just highlights all of the negative points of why they're in this position to begin with. He's incredibly strong. He's incredibly convicted, but he's not what this clan needs right now anymore. He's also not in great health, and it can be pretty easy to, I think, diminish that sort of outburst as senility. Is that the word?
I think so.
But I think it's lucidity, and I think he's just not totally connected with what's been going on and is trying to lead as though he's still the leader and as though he's still fully informed. And it was heartbreaking and powerful and emotional and complicated.
Yeah. That
was a great family moment. Yeah.
Very grown up, a very mature reader take for you to have, PJ.
Yeah.
That's not me as a person. I'm not a grown up person.
Apparently. He's all grown up. I think mine, without a doubt, actually, I don't know why I said I think. Mine is the duel, the Hilo's death of consequence, which he survives. Because we get Hilo being really cool, all the build up to that chapter, and then Andon just going full goblin mode on him.
It's really hard not to
Didn't
shout
they
that
talk
one out
about
too. Yeah.
the history of Death of Consequence in the beginning?
Gaunt
and
Ash.
has there ever been
Gaunt Ash was the
survivor?
only known survivor before that.
Right.
And now it is Hilo.
Yeah.
Fucking cool.
pretty fucking cool?
That is pretty rad.
So moving on kind of from that regarding Janloon and adaptation, of which I love that we spiraled that direction. What was your favorite moment or favorite moment of the story? What were some that like sit with you?
Ooh, I love the Hilo Andon bait and switch action huzzah moment.
The twice lucky, yeah, that's killer moment.
I didn't see that coming at all. So I love being surprised in a good way. And then it ended up working, which is happy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I also loved like scary Aitmata confronting Shay at the temple.
That's my favorite moment.
I like that sinister, scary woman. There's a lot of favorite moments. I love the opening of the book. It was explosive, you know, and it like threw you right in. And you don't even know who the main characters are yet, you know? Yeah. What else? There's a lot of them. I like this isn't a moment, but picturing like the nice cars and, you know, I don't know cars, but you picture like a Ford 1950s something.
Yeah, he's like Duchesse Prisa.
Escalade.
And yeah, you get like maybe nice Chrysler Escalade. You know, you get kind of in that upper, but not like, we're not talking Ferrari or going in that direction.
Like,
you know, Porsches maybe.
Like a badass nice car. Fast and Furious.
Exactly.
Yeah, those are probably the biggest standout moments that I can think of off the top of my head. But there's a lot of them. There was one in every episode, you know.
Yeah, we did kind of build them around, you know, the moments.
The favorite moments.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite moment?
Mine is definitely the temple scene. That is my favorite moment. I was so glad that you brought it up because that is the one that resonates with me the most clearly, because you have just a great dynamic moment between two different women leaders among these rival clans, and the sort of like bared honesty of Ait in that moment when she's often just very veiled and secretive and kind of at a distance, of course, and we kind of just see her puppeteering. It's just so cool for her to be like, all right, here's what's going down. You have an out. You can get out if you want. And if you don't, get out.
Not, I'll fucking kill you.
You're going to have to fucking kill you. Yeah. And she's saying that there beneath the gods because obviously she doesn't give a shit. And even that's pretense for her.
I just remembered another favorite moment while I was listening, very much listening. It was the mining. I like to picture the like mining of Jade and the like signage, like do not proceed. Just that image.
That is a really good moment. You're right.
And just thinking of like how real like a warning sign of, you know, you shall not pass is, and then like put it in that context where, and then Shay explains like, yeah, I could go down there and immediately go insane, you know. That was cool. That's cool to see how the whole world is built around this operation.
I remember, so we've talked about this on the show before, but my stopping point when I originally read it was before that moment. And in my second pass of this book, when I hit that moment, I was in. Like, that was one of the moments that just like grabbed me and pulled me in for the entire story. So just because I loved that context, it was something that I hadn't considered before. Like, what are the economic impacts of all of these things and decisions? And like you said, the way that the culture is kind of built around it, the whole world, so that we know. Oh, so good. Such a good book.
So good.
So good.
We, as a Words and Whiskey family, we've had a tumultuous? How do you say it? I said it that time. Tumultuous.
You got it.
Relationship with these characters. It's been up and down, but it's come around at the end. And so I asked you, who sits out as your favorite character?
I'm going to say my favorite character is Shay. I enjoyed her journey probably the most, and like her development throughout the book. And she was the one that I felt like I understood the most. So throughout the whole book. And so I just really liked her. I love how smart she is. I love that she's an amazing fighter. I love that she's the weatherman now. So, and like that she's able to come up with the schemes and actually help No Peak be successful. So I'm really looking forward to her continuing to develop, and like her chess match with Aitmata that I feel like is going to come up here. Really looking forward to that as well. So Shay is going to be my choice for sure.
There are so many good answers to this. Shay's up there for me as well, especially maybe surprising considering my like early frustrations with her character, but all of them have been reversed. And like she's such a great character. Andon is another standout, someone wholly like he is the prophesized one to a certain degree. Like he is overly sensitive, but in a good way. He has the conviction to stand against anything that has ever been done in a ceremony before and refuse to take on his Jade. I think that's going to make for a really complicated story going forward. And I respect him for holding that, for making that decision for himself and holding true to it, even after being confronted by Hilo afterwards. Andon's awesome. I think with more time, Wen will be a favorite as well. We just didn't get enough of like her actually speaking for herself and like being herself and displaying her strengths and her abilities. Like we just haven't gotten enough of that yet. But when we do, I think she's going to stand out as one of my favorites as well. But for now, my answer is going to be Andon.
I like Mick Wynn as a character to look out for sure. That's a good call out.
Excellent.
What about you, Thomas?
Choices. Am I allowed to say?
I mean, we know he's a Hilo stan.
I am a Hilo stan. Hilo is even like my first read, Hilo, before I got to the other books, was my favorite.
I should give a quick shout out to Lon as well, just because he only got a half a book though, so I don't feel like he can be a favorite character, but I guess he could. But
okay, so when I first read it, Lon's death gutted me, and I don't know if it's because I also have a younger brother and sister. The age gap isn't that big, but I'm 4 years younger than, or Jesus Christ, 4 years older than my brother, and I'm the best. What are you going to do about it? So there was a lot of similarities, and then he's done, and I was just like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And then, PJ, let me know if this is out of line, if I delve into my opinion on a reread.
Go for it.
Rereading, which this time, again, different experience, but when I reread in between to kind of prepare for this series of Words and Whiskey with you guys, I was like, Lon, you fucking idiot. Like, there's a lot of...
Yeah.
Stuff that
I can see that for sure
with hindsight.
Yeah, I think that is sort of the beauty of this format of novice and expert. Is like a lot of the people that are going to be listening to this book have gone through reread, or listening to this podcast are people that have gone through rereads or are going through a reread of this book, and I think that opinion totally deserves to live within here. So don't feel bad about like going against our like first time reader gut reactions to things. Like you can have nuanced, experienced opinions on things.
Yeah, I definitely had to grow into that because I definitely didn't say enough the first like 2 episodes, so I was scared to have opinions on things and steer you guys at all.
I mean, sure, there's probably a fine line to walk. I don't know what that line is. Crossland could answer that question better.
I don't think so. He's not Johnny Cash.
No, he's not very good at most things.
Wow. For our guy, Cross. Gentlemen, we have a document. It's extensive.
I'm not going to be shocked by your answer here, but we have to ask it. We're asking it to everyone. Favorite character? Who's your favorite character?
You're not gonna be shocked. I'll be shocked because I'm not even ready. I don't even.
Oh, I thought you were just gonna say Aitmata off the cuff. See,
no,
like
I'm
that's
not.
her.
I'm not like so with the baddies. I like to be controversial.
Huh.
Gaunt? No, just kidding.
There's your controversial take. Although Gaunt in the end is very cool when we start to get his perspectives.
He's
it's
cool the whole time
great.
with his guard arms. That's badass.
Mm-hmm.
Never wear sleeves, buddy.
Yeah, sleeves are bullshit.
I feel like Shay is becoming my favorite character now that she's doing what I want her to do. At first, I was kind of like, okay, come on. But I like how naturally she's taking on her role and how she's a badass fighter, but also super smart.
Mm-hmm.
She's probably my favorite. I still like Sweet Baby Andin, even though the end of the book made me like him a little less, but we'll see. Maybe he'll prove me wrong.
Those are all good pulls, in all honesty. I think that I would be hard pressed to not say that my favorite character in this book is Lon, just because you really kind of you get a great picture of what's expected, and then like how they're gonna have to deal with that, because he was like the expected type of leader, and obviously Hilo's gonna fuck shit up and be completely different, which I think is great. And I think he as a character, as an older brother, I relate immensely to Lon and Lon's struggles with his siblings and how you handle those things.
Cross, you got to get off the shine. I've been telling you.
You know what? I love my Negroni so much. It's so good. It's really tasty. I don't know. I should have made a double.
I'm proud of myself. You know, when you're hungover from a certain drink, it's hard to drink it the next day. So
very true. Which is why I'm not having a beer. Yeah. No, I'm with you. Like, I think one of the things that I love about the story so much just is the characters. Like we were saying, you know, Gaunt is, you can kind of, especially because you're already empathizing with people that are definitely criminals, you can see where Gaunt's coming from and why he does what he does. Even to Mr. Une and the staff, and the way that he kind of walks in is just menacing but positive. And yeah.
Yeah, I should have said Mr. Une is my favorite.
Mr. Une is
makes
pretty great.
Squid balls.
He makes those nice squid balls. I think, man,
I wouldn't eat
them. So
Miles
sent me a message last night at 11:30, and as mentioned before, very drunk, and mentioned the type of squid balls that they probably are. So I'm going to see if I can pull it up, because he was listening to the episode. Miles coming through. I'd made mention. I think we're going to, Miles, this is your formal invitation while you're listening to this to come on the show and be a guest during one of the wrap-ups. Let's see.
We love Miles.
Here.
He comes down here for work, and we go to dinner. One time we played the Red Rising game that Miles was an artist on the cards, and he taught us how to play.
I have the game. I still haven't played it. And it's fun. I brought it over to my parents' place, and we were totally planning on it because they've read the books too. And I think we ended up, as you may mention of earlier, we ended up playing Trivia Murder Party for just like 3 hours straight, because it's just so easy to get sucked in.
That's an easy game. It doesn't take much thought. Yeah. It does make me feel stupid when I have to do the math fast.
Yes, the tapping math one.
I can't do rules. I can't do panic math.
Yeah,
I need a calm environment.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking, of course, about the party pack. What's it called?
Jackbox party pack. Yeah,
party pack.
I think it's like five and
I have
6.
3. I think it's on multiple ones.
Yeah, because there's Trivia Murder Party 1 and 2.
And I bought it on my Fire Stick, which I now have Apple TV, but I have to keep the Fire Stick for when I want to play Jackbox. And I have to plug the Fire Stick back in and remember how to use it.
Oh no, I own them on 3 different platforms now, because I just different times call for different things.
Sure.
Yeah.
If you don't have it, this is not an ad, and Thomas isn't here to shut us down. You should buy the Jackbox Murder Mystery Party. It's super fun, and everyone loves it. Even people who say they hate games, they love it too.
Yeah.
It's maybe a little scary if you have
kids. It is a little jumpy, but you can actually turn that down in the options. So if it's a little too jumpy for you, you can change it. I'm fine with it. Yeah, I don't care. But other people sometimes are sensitive, so I turn it on for the sensitive folks. But takoyaki balls is what he was imagining them as similar to, which are like fried dough balls. So they're like kind of round and might have like a cinnamon glaze on them or something similar.
Okay.
So, yeah. I fucking love Barrow.
No, you don't.
I love to hate Barrow so much.
I could do without Barrow.
Really?
Yeah.
Like entirely?
Yeah, he's annoying.
Okay.
He just
All right.
never does the right thing. He's selfish. He's a dick. He slashed Sampa's tires. He's unforgivable and
oh, absolutely.
a thorn in the shoe. Yeah.
I think the reason that I like Barrow, love to hate Barrow even, is because he is that thorn in the side, but at the same time, it gives us the sort of grounded perspective that's outside of the clans that otherwise I think we're kind of missing in a real way as people kind of chase the opportunity that Jade seems to bring. So I like it, but he, and it's just this idea of bringing out the most vile bits of a human, of a person. Definitely a piece of shit. Definitely don't like him conventionally, but I appreciate why he's in the story.
See, this makes me think that he's likable in the future. Because
I'm not trying to say that at all. Yeah.
He's irredeemable.
Oh, I think he is irredeemable, for the record. I'm not trying to give you any kind of spin on that. I just, in the same way that I think, comparing this to Red Rising for just a brief second without spoilers, the sequel trilogy brings in those other perspectives from other colors, and that feels like it's grounding you in a way. Barrow does that for me in this story, where if we were just inside of the people of the clans' heads, I think I would have a little bit of a tougher time. We do get flashes of like Mr. Une and a couple of other people, but I think that's why I like Barrows, because there's consistency to him and we can kind of see, even though I don't like him.
Okay. No,
that's kind of what I'm going for.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We see
but
more
he is
of
definitely
the
annoying.
underbelly of the city.
Yeah. Definitely annoying. Definitely messy.
Definitely gonna fuck some more shit up before we're done with him.
Definitely fucking more shit up.
We have one question left on this document. I have another question in my back pocket I'm going to ask you guys after. But final prepared question. If you could share a drink with any character, who would it be and why?
I have an immediate answer.
Go ahead.
Mr. Une.
Dog, me too.
That's a good one.
That was my
dude. He has seen so much from multiple different clans, just from living in this city. I think he would have such insane stories to tell.
His perspective would be great. He's got you get a little gossip style perspective from him.
I bet.
And of course, we're getting crispy squid balls during this drink.
I bet if you could, say, the clans fell or something, and there's no threat of this getting out, but if you get 2 shots of Hochi in Mr. Une, he's flapping his gums, and he's got the goss, he's got the tea. Plus the food.
My mind did not go there, but that's a great call. Yeah. I was going to say Hilo, just because I feel like he'd have the best, it'd be fun to hear his war stories.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me about some gnarly gang fights and some time that you went downtown and cracked some mountain skulls.
Mm-hmm.
But now that you said Mr. Une, I feel like that's even better.
I think those are my top
I feel like we can get that, and we can get some green bone stories, but we can also get some city person perspective and gossip about the clans from Mr. Une as well.
Yeah, I think those leap out as the top 2, though, right? The mates would probably be too violent. You're getting fights if you're with the mates, probably fighting the mates.
Yeah. They don't seem like storytellers either.
Probably not that fun. She might be.
Yeah.
Andon would be the worst.
Yeah.
Sampa?
We don't know enough, in my opinion. Barrow would not be fun. He would just start, he'd be full QAnon immediately.
Time. Yeah.
What about Lon?
Fair.
Would Lon, I feel like Lon...
I mean, he wouldn't have a lot to say.
He'd be too guarded, I feel like, yeah.
I think he'd be dead.
That too. Yeah. Fair enough.
No, alive, he'd be pretty fun. Any of the old guard, Doru or Carlsen, would be just antagonistic and
Carlsen.
I've had drinks with my grandparents before. Some of them are fun to have conversations with. Some of them are not. It's kind of a roll of the dice.
I feel like Carlsen just immediately starts flaming you, like just roasting you to death.
Oh, for sure.
One shot, and he's just like, you're pathetic.
Yes. I would not feel good about myself walking out after that one.
What about Shay's ex? What was his name?
Gerald?
Oh, fuck Gerald.
Gerald.
I'm sick of hearing this guy's name on the podcast.
Or the Spenian, like, general that Make Wen makes contact with?
Yeah. The fuck is his name?
It doesn't matter. None of the conversation would be about anything that we've had
I don't want
conversation about.
Made when? Duh. That would be a great. She'd be a great hang.
Yeah, I think so.
I feel like she'd have like some low key gossip, but then also
top.
like very great insights, and it'd just be cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Final question before we do Conspiracy Corner here. If you could share a drink with any character, who would it be and why?
Just one drink or one
Just
character?
One character. Many drinks.
I would definitely party with Hilo.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He's a good time.
I think so.
Yep.
I think that's not a bad pick. Why would you do Hilo?
I bet he'd have some badass stories. He could show me all his scars. He's like, it's pretty rowdy and fun when you get him drunk. He could show me some cool green bone skills. I don't mean sexually. Like he could show me how high he can jump. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
But no, I think Hilo would have the widest range of like bar talk stories.
Sure. That makes sense. I think that's a great pick for that reason. I was thinking, and it's so important to just think about it just as this book. I was thinking Andon and like just like sit at like a table and play like card games and chat with Andon while having a drink. I think would be really fun because I think he's incredibly insightful.
Yes.
And,
yeah.
You know,
I don't agree just because he likes such a bad time.
I think it would be a bad time. I'm having trouble not pulling in a little bit of the second book in my brain.
He's just so mopey.
But, yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's such a sad boy. It'd be like sad drinking.
Aaron, I have a collection of sad boy records immediately to my right.
Sad boy.
You've seen the inside of my closet. I'm wearing a Blink-182 t-shirt. What are you?
Yeah, I'm wearing an Emily's bachelorette party shirt that has beers on it. That's what I'm going for. And that I really am. Like,
yeah. Oh, awesome.
And that's, yeah, Hilo and I could be frat boys together.
Yeah. I would also drink with Hilo. I think that is the better pick, but my first instinct was Andon.
I feel like Hilo could like put me up on his shoulders and, you know, we could like beer bong it like in tandem.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
He
That's
probably
interesting.
does cake stands on his own, like no one holds his
Most
feet.
fun to drink with is not the way that I expected this question to go, but I do like it.
Well, you said, who would you want to share a drink with? I'm sure you meant like, and have a insightful conversation. And I'm like, no, who would get like, you know, we could like burn the restaurant down while we walk out.
Yeah, right. Exactly. You would absolutely burn the restaurant down. You'd go to somewhere in the mountain area and show up, do a beer bong, and then light it on fire.
Yes. Sounds fun.
It does sound like a fun time.
Yeah, like anyone else, like Lon, Shay, Andon, they, you know, they'd be like a good friend or a good combo, but not like a good time.
Not a party. Yeah, no, I totally get that. That's a great call. Part of me, again, I was thinking through this very differently, and I love that you brought that to this. Given that parameter, I think in this book I would pick Gaunt because I think you would get the war stories.
You could touch his scars.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know that I would touch the scars. I have a bunch of scars. They don't feel different. I don't know.
They're like
My
running
knees are
down
all
his
fucked
big
up.
biceps. I would touch his scars.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, of course you would.
What's this one?
What's this one? Can you tell me about this one? And he's like, they're all from
Can
that
you feel
one time
this?
where everyone tried to fucking kill me.
Literally all of them.
All of them. Just, except for that one. That one on the inner arm.
That brings us to the end of the prepared dossier, the prepared questions, our notes, our thoughts. But I feel like something we'd be remiss to leave here without doing is, for me, to ask you guys, what do you think's coming up next? What do you think Jade War has in store for us?
I mean, just based on the title, it sounds like shit's going to hit the fan. But I think that not necessarily just going to be the clans. I think that there's going to be outside influences are going to start getting involved here. Like, it seems like the Aspinians are going to be a part of it. And I would anticipate Jade War referring to like many nations warring, not just like the clans warring.
Yeah, and I think many nations. I think clans, not just No Peak and Mountain, but I think the fact that Mountain Clan's Horn has been killed and No Peak broke Aisho by like this deception in this death of consequence. I think they broke Aisho, right?
Your Honor, do we have any witnesses who can speak on this? I didn't see nothing.
That's a good point. Did anyone survive other than Hilo and Andon?
I don't. To my recollection, no.
Okay, so maybe
it sounds like maybe some mountain fingers scattered, but I don't know.
Andon's classmates seem to have. They knew he was there. It's unclear if they knew he killed people. They did call him Jen.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they don't really know what happened.
If that gets out, though, if that information gets out somehow, that it was like an unsanctioned, dishonorable death of consequence, I'd wonder if some of the smaller clans that No Peak had like absorbed would fracture. Like, I wonder if this whole thing is a spider webbing fracturing of all of the like clans and like sub clans of Mountain and No Peak. And like chaos ensues there, but then the Spenians come in, and like it's going to be a war on multiple fronts in multiple like scopes.
Okay,
I think.
So you think it's the ultimate showdown?
I think there's a lot going down.
Okay,
yeah.
And those are fair reads, fair takes on the situation.
What do you think's happening?
I will tell you, when I hadn't read it, based on Star Wars, you know, the red title card in Star Wars The Clone Wars usually meant Darth Maul is going to be fucking shit up and a lot of people are going to die. And so I saw the red cover of Jade War and I was like, oh shit.
It's about to get real.
I was like, Darth Maul? Sam Witwer's here?
All right, so the final question, of course, is returning to our conspiracy corner and what you're thinking and what's on your mind going into the next book.
Well,
where's your head at?
For sure,
What do you
Woon Papi
expect?
Danwa is a fucking spy. He's an insider for the Mountain. 100%.
Okay.
I think we will see the death of Khal Sen at some point, just of old age. I don't see him like going out in a blaze, but maybe that'd be cool if someone like robs the house and he like fucks them all up and then like dies from the exertion.
Barrow robs the house.
Yeah. That'd be cool. And Khal Sen kills Barrow, best case scenario, and then he dies himself, also best case.
Yeah. Goes out of here.
Let's get rid of all the bad times. What's the old weatherman's name? I'm blanking.
Doru.
Okay. I think that he might prove himself useful. Like he betrayed us, but now maybe he's helping.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of think we'll see, a conflict of like, do we trust him or not? But he is actually helping. These are all very unsubstantiated thoughts that I'm currently coming up with.
That's kind of the point, it's just like what's top of mind. Yeah.
And then I don't know what to think about Andon. I don't know if he'll be around. I don't know. He might go into obscurity for a while in this book. I think Shay and Hilo.
What would obscurity mean? Yeah.
Obscurity, like he doesn't accept the jade. He kind of disappears. We don't know where he is. Maybe he's in Espenia or something. We like barely hear about him. We all kind of forget about him. And then like when we need him, he like comes back kind of like shaded. I think when it will become more and more of an asset and more of a important person in the narrative. Yeah, and then I don't know. I see Shay, Aitmata, Hilo kind of, they're on a like sharp trajectory right now, so I don't see them changing course.
Okay.
Towards
that makes
all
sense.
out war and conniving and fighting and brute strength.
That makes sense to me. I curiously want to ask what you think, not who necessarily, because we don't really have any names to go off of or anything like that, but what type of person do you think the Mountain will get as the new Horn? Like, do you expect someone similar to Gaunt? Do you think more Hilo? Is it going to go Make? What type of personality do you think is going to come into that role in the Mountain?
I guess someone similar to Gaunt and Hilo is what I would expect. But since you asked the question, it makes me think it's not that.
It's just an interesting void, right? Like it's Hilo is very different than Make Ken. Yeah, Make Ken is in the role as the Pillarman. Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows? Maybe she'll get a strong lady and then they'll be the lady leaders. And then Shay will be like, I got to get me more lady leaders. Bring Wen up into her inner circle.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Cool. Do you think Hilo will find out about Wen's actions or anything like that?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think it will be a big fight.
Big fight.
Yeah.
Big ol' fight. Between the two of them or including Shay? Yeah.
Yeah.
You think
I know,
it'll include Shay?
I love Hilo apart from Wen, but I really don't like Hilo and Wen, which So I think Hilo will be very, very mad at Shay and then feel betrayed by Wen. Yeah. What was your exact question? Sorry.
No, that was pretty much it. That was kind of the gist of it.
Yeah.
So
I think it'll be like you need to leave and cool down, Hilo, because you're freaking out.
Yeah. Fair.
And the Make brothers will be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't yell at my baby sister.
Don't do that. Leave her alone.
Baby? I think so.
Yeah. I believe so. Yeah. They're older brothers. Yeah. All right. Well, cool. Anything else on the book? Anything else?
I think it's a great book one. The ending definitely, plans for book two. So it doesn't feel kind of like PJ was saying. It doesn't feel like an end. It feels kind of like a comma.
Yeah.
So which I'm cool with because I'm going to read them all.
Right.
So
exactly.
I'm excited because now I'm going to go start reading.
That's what I'm doing with the rest of my night.
Yeah.
It's a chunky section too. I was listening to it, like I was saying, when I was working out, and I didn't get through it all, but I got through the first 3 chapters, and I think it's like 3 hours of audio or something like that, like 70 or 80 pages. So
nice.
It's chunky 7 chapters.
Good.
But
yeah, I wonder if it's any more setup. One of my pet peeves, and I hope this doesn't happen because then I'll be like calling it out, but is when an author like re-explains everything in the second book. It's like, if you didn't read the first book, that's your own fucking problem. I don't need to be re-explained to. I realize it happens because there's time in between, but we of course wait and then read them all at once. So
right. Yeah. That's one of the reasons, for instance, it's one of the things that I really appreciate about some fantasy series like The First Law, where there isn't like a whole magic system that you have to go and re-explain to me or like try to. So like Joe never has to reset the status quo. Yeah. In our heads. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I totally get that. And I'm not going to talk about it, but I did read it today. So I'm excited. I'm excited now that we get to get into this book because this is where like Jade City for me was like, wow, that is so cool. I really like it. 8.5 out of 10. And then Jade War was like, that's where my brain broke and was like, this is an all-time series for me.
Awesome.
So, similar to Red Rising with Golden Sun. Up. So middle books. Yeah.
See, normally everyone hates the middle child, but not us.
Man. I love middle books are usually the darkest. Give me that dark shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a fan.
Awesome.
I'm a fan of them.
Looking forward to it. Well, I appreciate you introducing me to another good book. You have a high record, so don't fuck up.
We're doing well so far.
Don't fall from grace.
Right. I will never. I've yet to be steered super wrong, so I'm sure that helps. But, okay, cool. With that, next week is our first episode of Jade War, where we will be reading chapter 1 through 7, which is very exciting. So,
awesome.
Chapters 1 through 7 of Jade War.
Read it.
Whoop, whoop. Read it. Do it. What are you waiting for, cowards? So that's where we'll leave you for this week. Thanks as always to Andrew and Tim for helping us keep the shows going. Spinning up right now, HowlerPod's new website. And this sort of back-end production is one of the things that we've going on in the show, and Tim is working very hard on that. Andrew had like a backlog of 5 episodes that he went through and mastered this weekend of a bunch of different shows that we've had, just kind of sitting there for a while that we needed to finish. But yeah, they do a ton of work to make sure that we sound good and that all this works out. So appreciate you guys. Check out all of our links in the show notes. Of course, you can find HowlerPod, High Key Obsessed, as well as all of our social scheduled Patreon. And if you want to find us on any platforms, Words Whiskey Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and Reddit. You can join our Patreon at patreon.com/Words and Whiskey. You can buy our t-shirts on TeePublic. Again, all in the links. So I want to thank Ziva for being our private party sponsor for Daisy Jones and the Six. We're going to be recording that soon and releasing it for patrons first, and then putting it out on the Short Pours feed. So we're excited to give it a go. I've heard it's good. Should be fun.
Nice. Don't forget to rate and review Words and Whiskey. 5 stars only. If you don't give 5 stars only, then you're not allowed to keep reading. And that would be very sad for you.
Perfect. Well, this is for sure an experiment. We haven't done anything like this before, but I think it's going to go well. I love this trio. Mm-hmm. I think that we speak well together and we have a good sort of rapport, as we should after 2 months of covering the same book all together. But yeah, thank you guys for being here. This has been great.
It's been well done, gentlemen. The conspiracy triangle
for the win.
lives.
The conspiracy triangle.